I was first introduced to the term apartheid and its history when host Trevor Noah of The Daily Show spoke up about his childhood. He recalls times when he felt bullied and how other children would be afraid to be seen around him as interracial social interaction was illegal. Trevor's story is a reminder that no child should ever be deprived of their right to love and be loved by the ones around them.
It was illegal to be mixed. In other words, to have a black parent and a white parent, but it was not illegal to be colored. In other words, to have two parents who were both colored. There was a colored woman named Queen who lived in our block of flats. When we wanted to go out to the park, my mom would invite her to go with us. Queen would walk next to me and act like she was my mother. And my mother would walk a few steps behind like she was the maid working for the colored woman. I've got dozens of pictures of me walking with this woman who looks exactly like me, but who isn't my mother. And the black woman standing behind us who looks like she's photobombing the picture, that's my mom. When we didn't have a colored woman to walk with us, my mom would risk walking me on her own. She would hold my hand or carry me, but if the police showed up, she would have to drop me and pretend I wasn't hers. I felt like I was a bag of weed.
Apartheid, a term meaning apartness, was first introduced in South Africa in 1948. Within the constitution, it appeared to call for equal development and freedom of cultural expression, but the way it was implemented made this impossible. It made segregation part of the law and punished those who disagreed. It implemented a passbook for every person of color, men and women, which they had to produce on demand. Their existence was only represented by this book that stated who you were, your employment status, and the area you were allowed to reside in. Resistance to apartheid came not only from the people who were suffering from its negative consequences, but it also came from other countries as well that were in support of the South African freedom movements. There were many organizations involved in the struggle for liberation, one of them being the ANC, the African National Congress. The ANC started their road to freedom on a more militant path. The ANC introduced their program of action in 1949, supporting strike action, protests, and other forms of nonviolent resistance. Nelson Mandela, Oliver Tambo, and Walter Sisulu played an important role in the ANC in this period. In 1952, the ANC started the Defiance Campaign. This campaign called on people to purposefully break apartheid laws and offer themselves for arrest. It was hoped that the increase in prisoners would cause the system to collapse and get international support for the ANC. When this did not disturb the government, many of the ANC members resorted to armed resistance against the government's oppressive regime. For this, many ANC leaders and Nelson Mandela were sentenced to life in prison. Mandela was made the face of the anti-apartheid movement, both within his country and internationally. He was released after almost 3 decades in 1990. He then participated in the abolition of apartheid and in 1994 became the first black president of South Africa, forming a revolutionary multi-ethnic government to oversee South Africa's transformation.
bum